Because I feel like I came out and everyone around me didn't really know what trans was. Because no one, you don't when you're like young. Like you don't even get taught in like, oh, what do you have, like PSHD?
I was wondering, you kind of briefly mentioned, we briefly mentioned about the TikTok coming up to your male group chat. That kind of support that came from that, for someone who might not actually know what that is or what happened, what was that situation like? Were you nervous?
Basically, I was literally shitting it. Like, the thing is, because it wasn't that bad compared to most people because I was like gay and wore makeup and I was really feminine anyway. So, but a lot of my friends just didn't really know about the feminine side because they never used to post it. So then, I feel like boys are just less accepting than girls generally, especially when you're young. So I was alright with the girls. Like, I wasn't that nervous, to be honest. But with the boys, I was like, because I valued my boy friendships quite a lot because it's like, you know, the lads, being 6'3" and that. But I didn't think they'd actually take it well. But they didn't go to my school. Like, it was like, that was my group from like, I used to do drama when I was younger, so that was from them. But then at school, I didn't really have any boy mates because, you know, no one really fucked with a gay kid, not gonna lie.
So when was like, you in your head, you were like, I'm gonna come out with them? When did that decision come?
It was really, because I didn't really know, my opinion on trans people was just like, because I'd only seen like, a man in a wig. Do you know what I mean? Like, as in, like, I wouldn't agree with that if I were you. I think it's people like cancelled. Like, just like, you know, when you see like downtown, like someone that didn't really pass very well. I was like, if that's what like a trans person is, I didn't really want to be that.
Are we talking about like drag? Or
like that's like a drag queen is like what my like
perception.
Of like that's because that's all I ever grew up with.
Okay.
And then when like I started going on YouTube, and I saw people like Nikita Dragon or like Gigi Gorgeous. I can't fucking speak. Like Gigi Gorgeous, like they're massive like trans YouTubers. I was like, oh my god, they look fucking great. Didn't realize they were trans at the time. Found out, I was like, there we go. It was like a puzzle. Like,
do you feel like that could have been something where you feel like was lacking representation for what you truly?
There's no one in the UK, like especially young as well. Like, I never got like taught about it at school either. Not really.
You don't.
No,
you just don't.
I had to like. I feel like when I tell people now about like, I'm the one to educate people because they don't get taught about it at school. They don't know anything about it.
And I feel like that's like, people will always say that we live in like a homophobic, transphobic society, but I feel like the development that we have had as a society in the last 10 years, like the last 10 years has been so much progress, especially.
Even like since I first came out to how it is now, it's a massive difference.
And when did you come out?
Like, oh fuck. I was like year 10. So I'm year 13 now.
Was the first person you came out with your parents?
Yeah, and my friends. And then I came out to school. I actually changed my name. Oh, don't talk about it. I changed my name to Selena and started wearing like a really curly wig. I generally thought I was Latina. It was awful. It was actually
like
really
Gomez.
embarrassing. Yeah, because I was a big fan at the time, clearly.
So how were you feeling when you were about to come out your parents?
I thought my mum would be fine. They basically said they were quite like, they were right with it. They just said like, just see if it's a phase. If it's not a phase, we'll go to doctors. If it is, then, you know, fair enough.
Can I just ask, how do you approach a situation like that? In your own head?
Yeah.
What was...
What's my advice to come out?
Yeah, like bluntly, like where were you?
I did it in the car, which probably wasn't the best idea. I guess someone crashed. But I'd say if I could do it again...
Just drives off the bridge.
Nope. I'd say like if my advice to do it now would be definitely inside at home, first of all. Second of all, like I think everyone can sort of like somewhat guess what their parents are going to be like roughly. Like I would maybe... I helped a friend come out and I basically like told her to watch like something with her parents about trans people and see what they were saying about it. Okay. And they were like, oh, like they seemed quite accepting. So she just sort of had a chat with them. I think if you just ask for them to support you and just like say like, it might be a phase, don't really know what I'm doing, like I'm just gonna see what happens. And then if they're a good parent, like they'll love you either way.
What was the initial response then when you said it?
I think they both started crying in the car. It's a bit awkward. I'm not much of a crier.
Can I ask, how old were you here and had you started transitioning yet?
I told them literally like the first day. It was like as soon as I knew what like trans properly was, it was like I came out literally a few hours later to my parents.
How old were you here?
Like 13. I actually knew from the get-go because, like, it was, like, I was gay and I came out as gay, everyone knew from the start. Like, and then it got, like, progressively, I don't want to say progressively worse. Like, I just got
Progressively gayer and more gayer. You are the
Like,
super gay.
It started, like, me doing my brows and it was, like, wigs, makeup, the whole shebang. So then, like, they weren't shocked, but I think, wait, what was your question?
That's a good question. I forgot as well.
Oh, like, how do I know? Because, that's what I was on about. But it never, like, I never felt full as a person. Like, I felt like something was missing. And then even now, I speak to, like, I speak to my nan, and she was like, ever since you were younger, like, you wanted to, like, I remember one time some kid, like, this is so weird to say, but, like, some kid walked past my, like, scratching your table, walked past my, like, road, and they were going to my school. I was like, oh, like, you'll see me there. I'll be, like, the boy in the dress. Like, I'm going to be a girl. And I was, like, literally, like, 6.
Oh.
I know,
Oh,
so,
shit.
like, when people say it's a choice, I don't know. Like, I've literally never known anything
'Cause-
different.
Yeah, I'm always interested to hear about it just because you don't really know. And I think a lot of people would be curious to know because you get it when people, they feel like there's something missing or there's some sort of confusion.
Yeah.
Like, was there a point in your life that was vividly there and you were like...
I just felt lost. Like, I started doing drag to, like, try and get somewhere, but it just wasn't, like...
Fulfilling.
Yeah, it just was shit. Like, I just hated it. And I was like, why do I hate this? Because this is, like... I look like a girl, and I enjoyed it. And then, as soon as I found out, it's literally from there now, here I am now.
Do you feel like with this is I feel like more of a hypothetical, but if you felt like transgenders were represented better in the educational system,
Yeah.
do you feel like it might have been a process for you that you could have understood your own identity earlier?
Because I feel like I came out and everyone around me didn't really know what trans was. Because no one, you don't when you're like young, like you don't even get taught in like, what do you have, like PSHA?
Like 10 years ago, if someone said trans to you, you'd think drag queen.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Even now people think, but not to that extent. Like, I was coming out, I was like, what is that? Like, is she a girl now? Is she like, how do we call her she? Like, no one really knew. So, I mean, I think if it definitely would have made my school experience a lot easier if people understood what I was going on about. Because, like, so now I go out a lot more because I turned 18, like.
Come on the sesh, yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
lads. Like, what was I saying? Yeah, like, since I started going out more and, like, I've spoken to the boys that used to, like, give me shit at school, like, we just didn't understand you, like, because we never knew what... Now they've watched some of the videos about me, like, saying about school and how much I hated it. They were like, we were such dickheads to you in school, but, like, we didn't know at the time.
That's
And
wholesome,
I'm
really.
friends with them, a lot of them now, because they've grown up a lot.
So obviously they were quite young at the time, but what about the teachers? Like, how did they react?
God, that was an interesting one. Like,
that must be really hard, especially when you made that decision. You're like, oh, my parents are accepting that's down. Now we have to... How are students and teachers
they were fine with me changing my name, but I had, like, a massive fiasco with toilets the whole way through school.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Like, I never was allowed in the girls' toilets. Well, I always used to sneak in. Felt like a paedophile, but you'd understand.
Hey, don't say Why don't you just talk amongst yourselves, you know?
Yeah, like how did that feel when you were transit? And like, did you have a point where teachers were like, you can't go in the girls'
Yeah,
toilets?
they were like, so I got shouted at one time, and someone was like, literally this teacher, I remember her. If you're watching, Miss Lewis, I don't like you.
Fuck you, Miss Lewis.
Yeah, fact. She sat me down in the room. She was like, "You are a boy. Like, as in, like, you're still physically a boy. You're not allowed in the toilets." And I was like,
How old were you at this point?
literally 14.
So you were 14. Did you... apologies if I've got the timeline wrong. Were you gay at this point, or
No, I
you
came out, like, that was, like, after I came out. So, like,
came out as gay or as transgender?
trans.
As
So
trans.
literally, like, so after I came out, obviously the first thing was like, oh, I can go into girls' toilets. Wasn't allowed. And then, but they also made it out like, she was like, what if, like, a girl's there and she's, like, getting changed? Who the
gets
fuck
changed
gets
in a
changed?
toilet?
And she made it like a fucking room that everyone just sits and pisses like a fucking stream.
And and the worst part is they sit there and you're like, even if that was the case, I'm not fucking into them. I'm not into them.
I was like, I'm bi now, but at the time I was like, I'm literally into men. Like, it's very clear that before I was literally very gay. Like, it's obvious. I'm not gonna go there. And, like, also, like, I wouldn't sexually assault, like, a child. Like,
Yeah, you're instantly like a rapist.
yeah, like, it was so weird. And, like, they take, like, a statistic online of, like, one weird guy that dressed up as a woman went into a fucking toilet, and that's like. They
Sorry.
just run that through. Sorry.
Bad guy, sorry.
You fucked it for us all.
Oh, I'm really sorry, but I should have thought about you at that time.
Yeah,
Not
and
like
like they just run with that and say like everyone's a paedophile. It's like really.
It's very, very strange how people try to justify like injustice by stating it's just basically just prejudice. Like that statement in itself, if you did identify that way, you need a piss or a shit if you want to go to the toilet, not to sexually molest someone at school.
I had like
Just sit and wait in the toilet.
Yeah.
Wait till I get my hands on you.
Surely there's a better place to do it.
Yeah, no, I can't see.
I've just got a weird scenario in my head that someone's gone to the cubicle at school and Belle's just sat there just like, I've been waiting for you.
6'3" in the corner.
Oh, Miss Lewis comes in. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Been waiting on you.
I know you want that.
So,